Roblox is a silly game. It's not even a game, it's a game engine. It's kind of a mixed bag what you'll find on it though. You can find some sleeper picks that can be their own games, but the devs decided to make it on Roblox for whatever reason. Or the most brain-rotting slop to ever exist. And don't even get me started on all the problems surrounding probably everything on Roblox, because it's bad. Regardless of the slop and freaks on Roblox, there's a lot of gems. I want to focus on a few games. They all have the same gameplay loop, but do it completely differently. They're able to take inspiration and make it their own. Welcome to Doors. This is a game like no other, except this is a popular game on Roblox, so there's a ton of copies and 2 to 3 good games with the same formula. Doors really is like no other though. Created by Splash, it's a game where you go through doors. But I'm not oversimplifying it. It's a horror game where you try to reach the end by going through 100 rooms. It's simple but fun, and its atmosphere is pretty unique. You start off in the lobby, where you go down in an elevator. You can either choose to go down alone, or with up to 3 other people. Once you're in though, you get taken down to the hotel. This is the first floor of Doors. There's currently 2 main floors and 2 optional floors that you're able to do. We're gonna focus on the hotel for now. Like I said, you gotta get through 100 rooms, but it's not that easy. You're gonna have to deal with a ton of threats like Rush, where you have to hide in a cabinet to avoid them, and Screech, this absolute sack of that can't leave you alone ever. Then you got bigger threats like Seek and Figure, which have their own unique encounters for them. The hotel is the base version of the game. It teaches you what you need to know in it, and without holding your hand too much. If you die to an entity, it'll give you advice on how to deal with it specifically. So the more you die, the better you get. Kinda like a... When you do beat the hotel, you gain access to modifiers that you can put on your future runs. And the next floor, the mines. You can actually continue immediately after the hotel so that it's seamless. It's also intended to be played right after. You can also start up in the lobby if you just want to skip the hotel though. It's really up to you. The mines is the same gameplay loop. The only difference is things are harder. New entities you have to deal with, and previous entities are upgraded a bit to make them harder to deal with. You also get better things for yourself. In the mines you can get band-aid packs and battery packs, so you don't have to just pass on them anymore. There's also the bulk light, which is just a better flashlight, and the strap light, which is worse, but you're able to hold other items while being able to use it. The back door is an alternate start if you want to enter the hotel with speed boosting items and money. Your job is to speed run this floor before the timer runs out. To help with this, you can find levers that add more time before it's over. There's significantly less threats. You don't have to deal with this, thank God. To even be able to have access to this floor though, you have to do some stuff first. You need to get to door 60 in the hotel with 2 lockpicks and a skeleton key. There's a hole in the wall behind the cabinet. If you go in there, there's a small room and a hallway that's locked behind a gate. What you need to do is go into the next room and pull the lever in the back. It'll open up the hallway. When you go back, you'll see why you need those lockpicks and skeleton key. Going through the door, you're in a completely different place. This is the rooms. There's not much to do here. You just go through rooms for 3 hours, while hiding from the 3 entities that are found in here. It's very bare bones. This floor has a lot more of an impact on the game than you'd normally think. Doors as a concept is something I didn't know I wanted until playing it. It didn't invent the genre though. It's just the most popular game from it. This floor is a homage to the game's inspiration. Rooms, made by NicoRox5555, is the first of these types of Roblox games. Probably the first in general. I'm not completely sure, so don't quote me on that. But I don't care if you do. It's the most bare bones out of all the games in here. There's not too much to say about it. There's only 3 entities, and the massive change that really happens is that it gets darker the farther you go. It's the formula in its most basic form. And that's okay. You gotta start somewhere. From what I know of, NicoRox is working on a massive update that'll completely overhaul the game, and I can't wait for it to come out. There's one game in the same genre that's able to compete with Doors, and that is Pressure. Created by Zeal and his team, Pressure is Doors if it was set in an underwater SCP-like facility. It may be a similar experience to Doors, but they do a lot of things to make it completely different at the same time. It really is its own unique experience with the same amount of quality. It's also my personal favorite. The game's lobby says a lot about it, especially when it comes to the aesthetic. By looking at Pressures, you can see it's going to be a darker game than Doors and Rooms. One of the best additions though, is that you can have more than 4 people in a game. You can actually have up to 50 people in a game. It's actually beautiful. You play as a prisoner that's forced to work at Urban Shade, a company that captures entities and anomalies in order to use them. Your job is to collect the crystal from the Hadal Black Site in order to get pardoned. When you're in the Black Site, you'll probably notice it's a lot harder than doors. For one, you can die immediately if you don't listen to commands, but you've got hard enemies, turrets, landmines, etc. You have to be a lot more creative when it comes to hiding and avoiding enemies. One of the coolest things this game does is have different areas of the facility. You have areas with enemies specifically tied to them, or even new ways you have to play around them. There's also extremely rare rooms and areas that you can find too. They were extremely creative when coming up with these, honestly. It adds a ton of depth to the game. You can do a lot with this idea. I f with Pressure so much because of how great the gameplay is. The gameplay hasn't gotten old for me, at least. There's a lot more randomness to it compared to other games in the same genre, and a lot more challenge. Don't get me wrong, I f with Doors too. It's a game that got me back into playing Roblox because it's fun to play, and it still is. But there isn't near as much challenge as I think there should be, at least with the hotel. There's not enough randomness in my opinion, and I get others will like it more for that, but for me at least, it makes it kind of predictable. I know what time Seek will show up, the exact path I need to go to survive in the last hallway. I know the exact path Figure will take in the library, and that's not really a bad thing, it's just a preference thing. I want to see more secrets and challenges everywhere. The backdoor mines are so much better in this aspect. Enemies and environments that force you to change the way you're used to playing, so that you can't just play on autopilot almost the entire time like how I do with the hotel. We don't have to compare and be like, oh, Pressure's better than Doors for this, this, and this. No, Doors is better than Pressure for this, this, and this. It really comes down to preference. I love both aesthetics. Both do something better than the other, and that's great. They're different dev teams with different visions for their game. Back to Pressure though, it also has a couple of side modes. The Graveyard was added for the 2024 Halloween event. Your job in this is to stop the party. You gotta deal with new entities, like this stain, and one of the best enemies in the game. Then there's the Hunted. This one was added for the Hunt 2025. Like last time, you've got new enemies, but in my opinion, these ones are so much cooler. Pressure has a lot of upcoming content. New encounters, endings, just a ton of tease content that I can't wait to see. I'll probably make a separate video solely about Pressure when the game is completely finished. Same with Doors, but until then, this is all you're gonna get. Grace is what Doors would look like if you were on coke. Made by the Fartering Few, this is probably the second most bare bones out of all of them. But that's not a bad thing. It kinda works in its favor. This game is all about speedrunning. The whole point is to go through the areas as fast as possible while dealing with the entities. The farther you go, the more you have to deal with. The enemies are all pretty unique. If you look at Slight, you start getting hallucinations on your screen. You need to break line of sight with the Elk Man. There's Blood Rain that'll kill you if you don't find cover. Carnation is like Rush, but there's no cabinets or lockers to hide in, so you need to keep going through doors to find a hiding spot before it catches you. And the Slugfish will kill you if you don't get out of its way. The creatures for this are extremely creative. This is also the only game in here with cosmetic changes you can earn or buy. That's why I crawl like this. I don't know why I said this, Pressure also has the suits. The game itself is really fun. Taking a genre that's known for having slower gameplay, then turning that on its head with your own game is genius. The Delusional Office is the most recent game in this genre. It's also pretty fun. Made by KZKR, it's kind of like a mix between Rooms and Grace. You're in this office setting running from next spots that blast through the area, while also having the ability to speedrun like you're on super crack. Kind of a perfect balance between something like Doors and Pressure, where you loot every desk and locker you see, taking things slower, and Grace, where it's just balls to the wall speedrunning. You can really pick between either playstyle honestly, because this game lets you. There's also a lot of things different from all other games in its field. Delusional Office has perks to help you with whatever playstyle you want to go with. These have both pros and cons, so it's more like a trade-off. Give something up to gain something you want more. You've also got passives, which are kind of the same as perks, but are weaker and don't have any downsides to using them. Equipment also exists. Unlike Doors and Pressure, these are permanent instead of run-based. To make up for this, there's a weight system so you can't just run in and be too overpowered. They loaded this game up with the enemies to deal with. There's 34 entities that are in the info book. I have no clue if there's more. A decent amount of them are pretty samey, where you just deal with them by hiding in a locker. But there's a lot of unique ones, and a lot of them are fucking crazy. The most insane one I've dealt with is the Summoner. This motherfucker just throws as many entities as possible at you for like 2 minutes. There's a lot of entities that are just post too. There's a crying laughing emoji one that just sends more crying laughing emojis. And there's an evil troll face that plays Fonk until it catches you or you outrun it. One of the best features is that you can still play even after you die. You can f with your friends by throwing objects at them, or sending entities at them if you get enough points. You can also support them instead if you want, by using your points to help them. You get these points whenever another player goes through the next room. Even the lobby is unique compared to everyone else. When you start a game, you can either make your own or join someone else, by clicking on their folder on a desktop. This is sick. Why aren't more games doing this? The Delusional Office is just pure fun. They did everything in their power to make it enjoyable to everyone, and to add as much cool shit as possible. I didn't even talk about the notes that are left by other players, that you'll see placed around. You can do this too. KZKR really cooked when making this game, and you guys gotta play it. This is the least popular game I've talked about by a long shot. It needs more attention. This genre of games where you walk through doors is amazing. Maybe that's just because I'm easily entertained. My Instagram feed is AI Peter Griffin talking about bullshit.
Brian! Oh, Brian! I need someone to come and wipe some poopies on me, Brian!
These games are 100% able to hold up without Roblox if they wanted to. But then again, they're uniquely a Roblox genre, as far as what I know. It's also a pretty interesting way for a horror game to be, honestly. Go check these games out though, they're all free.